Well, what am I doing with my Apple shares today? Some of you might be wondering, am I buying, holding, selling Apple? So I'm going to walk you through my decisions as it relates to this company in this video. Now in 2016, when I was acquiring Apple shares, I also made a Facebook post just briefly describing my thesis behind why I thought it was a good buy. And I know some of you took my advice at that time and also purchased the shares. Well, just in case you're still holding them and you're wondering what to do, hopefully this video will help you out. It should be said right off the top, this of course is not financial or investment advice. This is just me sharing my thoughts and also sharing what I am doing. Each individual situation is unique. About 5 months ago in October 2024, I started to notice that the market was looking a little overvalued to me. So I began to look into that a little bit further, and I noticed that the average Shiller PE ratio of the S&P 500 was sitting at about 36 times price to earnings ratio. To put that in perspective, the historical average is around 16 times price to earnings. So we were sitting at approximately double or a little bit over double that value. That led me to look into the individual stock of Apple a little bit more to see what its valuation was sitting at. I noticed at that time that its PE ratio was at around 35. This was quite high just on its own right, but definitely high compared to the price to earnings ratio of Apple being around 15 when I purchased it in 2016. Because this investment for me originally was a cloning investment, which means I basically copied someone, and that someone was Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway, I started to look into what they were doing with their Apple shares. They were acquiring the company in the same year I was, and they eventually built up a position of about 800 million shares, which was slightly larger than the position that I built up. I noticed over the last 1.5 to 2 years, they were reducing significantly their position to end up just most recently at around 300 million shares from that 800 million beginning standpoint. So they've sold about 60% of their position in Apple. We can make investing fairly complicated if we wish, and sometimes in contrast, we can make it very simple. And in this case, I looked at them selling their stock and I thought, well, since I copied them originally and I've about 8x my money, I should look at doing what they're doing and look into the reasons why. If you want to know why Warren and Berkshire Hathaway were reducing their Apple positions, you can check out this video here. As for me, I eventually decided to sell at this point up to 1/3 of my Apple shares, and I may end up selling up to half. The result of this creates a larger cash position in my portfolio, which reduces my exposure overall to the stock market and to Apple itself. I can either leave that cash on the sidelines as a pure defensive move, or probably what I will do and what I've done is reemploy a small portion of that capital back into the market in what I feel is an undervalued sector and undervalued companies. Each individual has their own unique investment situation. This is certainly not investing advice, and everything's going to be unique to you depending on when you bought Apple shares, if you own them today, how much of them you own, what is the percentage of these holdings compared to your portfolio, your overall net worth, what's your age, your investment time horizon, etc. Please consider all of these factors before you buy or sell any stocks or securities. If you like what we're talking about here and it helps you out at all, press the like button and subscribe to the channel. It helps support what we're doing here, and it also encourages me to make more videos. We'll see you again in the next video really soon.